Hi everyone, welcome along again. Today we're going to look at a tap that's a monoblock mixer type with a single spout and a lever that operates it on and off and turns it hot and cold. And it's one of the common problems that happens with this type of tap if you've got one of these. And this has happened, I'm afraid you are really in trouble. I'm showing you this one because I'm in a friend's house and this is what they've been asking me to try and fix, and I'm going to show you what the problem is. So here we have our tap. And it's one of these monoblock mixers with a lever that turns cold right, hot left, and you lift the lever up to turn it on. Now it looks pretty wet there, doesn't it? And I can show you why. Because when you turn that on, if you flick that up and down, you can see the water visibly pouring out of it. Okay, it's actually gushing out now. When you've reached this level of water, I'm afraid, leaking from a tap like that, there's not much hope. There is a plastic kind of round body inside there, and they usually do split, or there's a little washer also that will be gone. Getting anything for these taps is a complete and utter nightmare. You just can't get anything. So, you know, when this happens, really it's a case of a brand new tap. So save yourself a lot of trouble. Don't try and mess around with it. If you've got that, just throw the tap, get yourself a new one and put it in. It's easier, and you won't have any of the hassle of trying to do anything with that, which I've had in the past with old taps like this. They just don't seem fixable. So just a little one for me, a little tip really. If you've got this problem, just renew the tap. Hi again guys and girls, I'm going to show you another job today, how to change a pair of sink taps. And there's the ones there we're going to change today. They're often called monoblock mixers because they go through one hole through there and they bolt up underneath. It's a bit of a tricky job, but you can do it. It's not that bad. As you can see, this tap's dripping quite regular, so we're going to change this one over. Now if you look under the sink, in this particular instance, you'll see that we've got a couple of valves on there. I'll put the torch there. So we're all right. We're going to turn these two valves off. That'll isolate the taps. If you haven't got any valves under there, just shut your main water off. In this instance, we have got a main stopcock there, but you can shut those off and then get the pipes apart. So we'll get those shut off first, and I'll show you how we disconnect them and get them out. So there we are. Our two valves are shut across ways. Now in this particular job, we've got a waste pipe going across here, which is slap dab in the way. So we're going to take that out of it and just make sure that nothing goes down the sink. So we're going to get rid of that next, just undo it. It's usually hand tight. I mean, you can undo it like this. Just take it off and get rid of it out of the way. Clear the decks as much as you can. If you've got a shelf in the way, even get rid of that as well and take it out, and at least you can see and get to what you want to do, what work you needs being done. Okay, so we'll lift that out of there, and then we've got a bit of access to the job. We'll put that down there, and now as you can look, if you look up there now, you'll see, if I can get the torch right enough for you, that there is a long nut, long bolt with a brass nut on it, and that's got to be undone to get these taps loose. We've also got to undo these two joints here, there and there, and knock the olives off, and then we'll be able to pull these taps out. So we're going to see if we can loosen that nut up there first. It's usually very easy. There is a spanner that you can use for that, and sometimes they do have a screw type thread on the end of the nut there, which you can undo with a screwdriver if you're lucky. But normally I use this spanner, which I'm going to show you now. Right, there is a specific tool that I use for these jobs, and this is it really. You can get these for about £5 or £6 from a local plumber. I think you're going to need it to get these out. 9 times out of 10, it's the only thing that will go up there. And it's a little box spanner set that's going to go up on that nut. So I'll get it on and show you how that goes. Okay, there you can see the box spanner's up on the nut. They're a bit awkward, but as you can see it there, you can just see it's going up onto the nut. This is the one we need. Get this out because it's got the whole horseshoe arrangement, which is quite common on these type of jobs. And as usual, it's got a waste nut, the waste pipe running right in front of it. Put that back there so you can see, and we'll get that on, and then we should be able to undo that, because it's a nice tight fit in there. So get a little Tommy bar, if you don't drop it. That's it, it's a bit awkward. Get it in there and twist. Now you can see that's come undone easy, so it's not too tight, but it's a fairly modern tap, so it should come off fairly easy. And as I turn that now, you should see it start to come loose, like so. I don't know if you can see that there. You can see it there. I'll lift it up and you can see the nuts coming away. Okay, let me put that back down there so you can see. I'll shine it back up. That's it. And we'll undo that nut and take it out. So this is the awkward part of the job. This horseshoe arrangement I actually hate. It's such a terrible arrangement. But it's what you get these days. The new taps that are going in haven't actually got this. They've got a nut and a bolt, which I do prefer. As you can see, it's coming undone now. And we can probably do it with our fingers now as we undo it. Okay, so I won't bore you with that bit. I'll click it off and we'll move on to undoing the nuts below. Okay, the next stage is undo the union nuts there on those pipes. I think you can see them. There's a lot of things in the way, so it's a little bit awkward. But basically, when you undo it, you can see I've loosened them already. But you'll need a bit of a spanner there, and that spanner on there to hold against while you undo it. Okay, so it's just a matter of holding. Otherwise, the whole valve would turn round. If you don't hold against with a pair of footprints or another spanner, that nut's going to turn the whole valve, and it will turn on the body and possibly cause you a leak underneath. Don't worry about the little bit of water that's coming down out the pipes. That's what's in the actual taps and what's in the bit of pipe that's above. So you're always going to get that no matter what you do. I've already undone this one here. That one should now come out. And there'll be a bit of dead water in there, as you can see. Okay, just let it finish, put a bit of cloth under there. This tap should be able to lift out now. As you can see, they're free now. We've got them free. But what we've got to do is knock these nuts and cones off, because obviously they're not going to pull up through the hole unless they're out of it. So there's a couple of ways you can do this. You try and get them off by tapping them off by hand. If not, if there's not enough room, sometimes you have to actually put a saw through those and hack them off that way, because they're a bit awkward to actually get off at this angle. So there's the shoe. That's the locking shoe that was up there holding that on. The taps are nice and loose now. They're ready to come out once I get these nuts and cones off. Let's say this is the awkward part. If you've got nuts and cones, you've got to actually get these off. And that can be a problem. But if the worst comes to the worst, I've got a saw for them. Okay, we've now cut through our pipes in here and decided the best option was put a tube cutter through them and cut them off. We don't need them anyway. Just squeeze them together after that, and now they should pull up through the sink. So if you're ready, Dad, you can pull them out. They should pull right out the sink now. Just keep pulling, twist and pull, and there we are. The old ones are out, and now we move on to fitting the new ones. Well, here we have the new taps, and first thing we've got to do is screw these up into the holes inside the taps. You'll see there's a couple of holes in the taps here, and we just thread these up. You don't have to do them too tight. There is little spanner nuts on them, and I'll put those in a second. Also, clean around the hole in the sink. It's all going to be mucky and dirty before they go in. And also there's a rubber washer with these ones that come underneath there, and it goes on there. Make sure that one's on, and there's one for the underneath to lock it on when we do it up. So we do these up first, and then we'll slide this main nut over these pipes one at a time and get it up to be done from underneath. So first of all, we'll screw these unions in there first. Okay, we'll do that now. And here we are going in. As you can see, they're going in there. Get the other one in through the hole there. Start that one. These ones only need to go up by hand. They've got a little rubber washer that does the seal. There's no need to go too mad. Just screw them up by hand till they stop, and that's it. And there we are. There's your towels on. Okay, and we've got our little rubber washer on there for the sink. Now we're going to drop it down through the sink. But first of all, we're going to clean this dirty mark that's on the top. Clean that off. Right, and now we've got a little washer on there. I'll drop these through there. Drop drop it down in position. Now this is where it's better if you've got someone who can hold these for you while you go underneath and get the nut on. So I've got Dad here who's going to give me a hand and hold these while I do the nut up from underneath. So I'll show you how to do that next. Right, okay, now in this instance the nut was not covering over both of the pipes, so we have to do it in another set way of doing this one. Just put one up, and then put your nut over. You want your nut and thing. Hang on, let's put it on this pipe first, like so. And then come up over that one. So what you're doing is coming over that one. We'll do the washer on first, shall we? Let's do it right. Over that one, and up that one. We're ready to go. Okay, that won't drop off because the nuts won't allow it, so we've got to thread this one in position, unfortunately, because I can't get the nut over. So if you find that's the case, you will have to thread one of them up afterwards. I mean, you can do it this way round, hold it in and just screw these in afterwards, but it's nicer if you can do it before without. But no worries, it's in, and that won't drop off now because it's hanging on the end of those pipes. So now Dad's holding the taps for me up there. We can now screw this up, and I much prefer this nut arrangement because it's a much better job than those horseshoes, which I think are pretty awful. So we now do that one up with a nice spanner. Now this one I like to use a basin spanner on this to tighten it right up, and that's one of these little beasties. Right, you've got it nice and square, Dad. You've got to tighten it up. Okay, we're ready now to tighten it up. Put that up there. And just nip it around. Like so. Just give it a little nip. Won't want too much. They're a bit awkward, but persevere. There you go. That probably should be it. And that's our taps in with the towels hanging. So we now move on to the next stage. Right, now I was thinking of connecting these up, but they're very long towels, and if we bend those, if you can see, there's just too much set there. That is not right. That is going to leak, guaranteed. So we don't want to do that. We're going to have to cut these pipes down a bit and get these towels on because they're a bit too long, I think. So we're going to have a look at maybe altering those. Okay, now as you can see, I've decided to give those towels a long curve. As long as they're curving and not kinked in any way, you should be right to connect them back on. I've curved them both round and give them as much slack as possible, mainly because I may be able to alter this cold one and drop that down to there, but this hot one has got a set on it, so it means I wouldn't be able to, I'd have to connect it right down here. Obviously that pipe, they're not long enough to reach there. It would mean literally renewing all of that. So I've decided to give them a long bend. It's one of those grey areas really. Some people say it's okay, some say it isn't, but I'm going to try it out. There's mains pressure here, and the hot is also off of a combi, so there's quite a lot of pressure. We should be okay, and I think that's really the best, probably the answer to it, rather than cut those down. I can cut the cold one down to there, but the hot one will have to come right down here, which is a little bit too far. So I'm going to tighten that up now and turn it on. Alright, before we go, don't forget to put the waste back. Okay, make sure you've got it back nice and tight. Only needs to be done up by the hands. Alright, if you have had to take your waste off, you'll soon remember that you've forgotten it anyway as soon as you run the water in the sink, because it will come pouring out the bottom here. Okay, there we are. I've only just realised that I didn't have it on, so there's a little bit of water here for me to clear up, so just one for you to remember, eh? Okay, there we are then. They're in position, so I've gone for the long flex on there. Some people don't like that, some people are okay with it. If I find I'm not happy with it, I'll connect it with shorter ones. But for now, just to show you how to connect them on, even if I do change these for shorter ones, which I probably will, that is the job. They're on, and the taps are fitted. And these taps are particularly good value. I'll tell you about them. And that's the fact that they're only £12.45 on eBay, delivered. You know, I don't know about the longevity of them, but they certainly feel alright, they certainly work alright, and yeah, I think they look quite a nice little job. So I'm running the tap just before I go once again, just let you know everything's alright. Give it a thorough check, make sure there's no leaks, after you've taken the waste off, just check it's alright, there's nothing leaking there. Alright, and everything seems to be hunky-dory. So I think we're alright. Still a bit of water hanging on the waste is where I took it off. And reconnected it there. That's it, I think we're done. That's how to do taps. How to do kitchen tap monoblock mop mixers, we call them. Any more of my videos, Derrickton33. Thanks for watching.